Hello everyone, and welcome to a review of what we did last week, and also we're going to continue this week. So, by way of review, last week we talked about prefix and suffixes. So let's zoom in on the words in the title of the essay that we're reading, Unusual Normality. So the prefix un means not. And as you know, if you put un at the beginning of a word, you have to know what the root word is. So in this case, unusual, usual is the root word. So unusual means what? It's not typical. Some other words that connect to unusual: habit, something we do all the time. Usually we wake up, we have a bath or shower. That's something that is typical, or something that's a habit. Now we have a suffix, ity, at the end of this word. Do you see normality? Again, identify the root word, which is normal, plus it means state or form of being. So normality, again, and we could use the word that is customary. It's normal. It's typical. Other words that will connect to it will be standard. It's usual. The two words are synonyms for each other. So now that we know what unusual normality, why did Bayer write that? So Ishmael Bayer's childhood was not typical, not normal, or expected. Okay? Unusual normality. Now, let's start off, review the setting. Setting means place and time of an event. And we know that Ishmael Bayer, the author, was born and raised in Sierra Leone, which is in Africa, right here. And we also know that he was a child soldier when he was about 12 years old. Look at the pictures of these young children who were child soldiers in Sierra Leone, which Bayer, of course, was one of them. Now, I want you to take your time and play the video about the lives of child soldiers. Okay, so cut it off here, play the video, and then we'll come back to that. Okay, so here's a background to Ishmael Bayer's life. He began to write about his experiences as a way of dealing with being forced to be a child soldier in Sierra Leone in Africa. After his family was killed when he was just 12 years old, Bayer was threatened with death if he didn't fight with a rebel group that was trying to overthrow the government. An American working for UNICEF is United Nations Children Fund, brought him to the United States. Today, Ishmael Bayer is a lawyer, an author, and a UN Goodwill Ambassador, helping others like him. Now, let's go before we do that. Let's do our do now, okay? So the quote comes from page 9 of his essay, Unusual Normality, where he says, "This was what I had come to expect from life, and I didn't trust in happiness or any kind of normality." So I want you to do the do now by listing 1, 2, or 3 things that you think is normal in childhood. For example, if you look at the bottom, playing video games, right? That's normal. A lot of children play that. Now, what experiences, so click down and add 1 or 2 more. Then, what experiences were not normal in the author's life so far? Think back to the video you just watched. Think back to his background and the essay that you guys read last week. Don't worry if you didn't get to read it. We're going to start to look at it some more today. What about your expectations from life? You as a young person, when you leave school, what do you expect to do? Do you expect to, I don't know, go to work, go to school? Just jot one or two things down. Now, I want you to think in the last column, why doesn't the author trust in happiness or any kind of normality? Why? Again, think back to the video. Okay, so jot that down. You can stop it here and write that down. Okay, so now we're going to come to today's lesson. Okay, finding common ground. So we always have our essential question, which is, how can we come together despite our differences? Your life is very different from Ishmael Bayer when you were growing up. Maybe it's similar. But how can we come together? If we had a very different upbringing than somebody else, how can we find common ground? How can we come together despite our differences? Now, I want you to look down. We're looking at the personal essay, of course, unusual normality. Whenever you see words like despite highlighted or hardship and you don't know the meaning of the word, please click on it and it will give you a definition so you will understand. So our academic vocabulary for today is despite, we're going to click on it, and hardship. And our aim for today is to read closely and analyze author's purpose. What is that? Okay, author's purpose. Today we're going to review the reading, just a short portion of the reading of the personal essay Unusual Normality. While we read today, we will be focusing on the author's purpose. What's his purpose in writing this essay? Now, an author's purpose is the reason the writer has for writing a text. Whatever you read, what is the purpose of writing to us? So we're readers. So there's several reasons why authors write, right? Authors may write to express their thoughts and feelings. They may write to persuade us, to inform us or explain something to us, or sometimes they write just to entertain, or it could be a combination of several of these. So, to determine the author's purpose in a personal essay, here's what we should be looking for. Analyze the structure, how it's built, the structure of the essay. Analyze the language that is used. And also, let's make inferences. Remember, inferences, educated guess based on the information given about the author's writing style and what is his message to us. Okay, let's just do a couple of short examples. To find the author's purpose, we must always annotate the text. I know you guys are home, most of you are home, but you can type. See, with Nearpod, you can type anything that you see at the corner right here, leaving you space so you can type out. Text example. First thing he says, I came to New York City in 1998. I was 17. So, what is Ishmael Bayer's purpose in writing this sentence? To express thoughts and his feelings. See, he's using the personal pronoun I. Okay, let's look at another from paragraphs 1 to 3. He said, I came to New York City when I was 17. I entered the United States with just a passport in my hand because somehow the baggage that I checked when I boarded the flight from Ivory Coast, you see the blues? Click on them. It will explain what the word tattered mean in ways unimaginable. His luggage didn't make it. I stood there in the luggage rack watching all these bags go by and mine didn't come. The bag held all my possessions at this point. 2 pairs of pants and 2 shirts, one long sleeve and one short sleeve. So I just started laughing and I didn't even bother going to the lost baggage section to claim it. So sometimes you hear the word baggage, it's your suitcase, it's your luggage, okay? So here's what I would annotate, but here's some questions that would help you as you annotate. Which of the following best explains the author's purpose? In paragraphs 2 to 3, is it to entertain the audience and make them laugh? To inform the reader about his life before he got to the United States? Or to express his feelings about his journey to the United States? Which one do you think it is? Okay. And now, depending on which one you chose, write the sentence that best explains or conveys the choice of the author's purpose. So whichever one you chose, A, B, or C, write a sentence that best explains your choice. Okay, I'm going to give you a little while for that so you can stop the video. And now finally, we're going to close. Let's think about the title of the essay again. How would you describe the author's reaction to losing his things? And how the author reacts connects to the title of Ishmael's personal essay, Unusual Normality. You lose your luggage, you laugh. How does that connect? So you can write those in. And the next Nearpod will be your Read 20. We did it a little bit differently this time. So go over to the next Nearpod, click on it, and start reading. We're going to read from paragraphs 1 to, I believe, 17 of Ishmael's personal essay, Unusual Normality. And after each, pretty much most slides, you will have questions to answer. And the last slide, you'll see, it's almost like a sentence starter and almost like a Read 20. So let's start working.